Everyone!
Hey.
You never know when the applause are going to come. So you're halfway through it and it's like, they're already clapping. Stop talking. So welcome everybody to Speak Up Monday here at Tropical Nomad. As you know, we're here and it's Speak Up Monday. We rest upon entrepreneurism and social impact. These are the two elements that underpin what we do. As I mentioned before, this is episode number 398, and it gives me a great pleasure to invite a brother, a friend, Martin Ebongue. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks. And it's been a long time coming. I think we've been discussing that for a while, and now it's happening, so it's cool.
So off camera, I kind of realized about 200 episodes ago I should have invited him then. Some things take a bit longer, but the good stuff is worth waiting for. And for those of you who don't know Martin, so he is an automation king, wizard, ninja, right? Personally, over the years, he's automated hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different businesses, products, services. He said I'm allowed to say this, so right now in terms of those deriving income, without him being actively involved in them, is over 40 plus income streams. That gets my attention, right? So tonight we're going to talk about, how do we create that kind of life where you can decide every day, what is it that you want to do today, right? And before I let him speak, what also impresses me about you, Martin, is that he's also giving this knowledge back to Indonesia and Indonesians and mentoring, which we're going to go into later on, which I think is the most powerful part that we can play, right, in this whole ecosystem of Bali. So look, the first question to get us started, if I were to ask you, Martin, give us a 2-minute intro on you to an audience of people that wouldn't know you, don't know you, or anything about you, what would you say?
Oh, gee, that's very hard. So I will say I'm basically trying to build a life that I don't need to escape from, which is what a lot of people do. For example, when you go on holiday, you're escaping work or something, right? So my thing was, there are a lot of filters in our life that we'll have to go through. Every decision will go through those filters, and I'm trying to have as fewer filters as possible. Meaning, I don't have a boss, I don't have money problems, I don't have time constraints and stuff. So that's basically what I'm trying to build, is that perfect life, which is the perfect life for me. I'm not trying to be someone else, because there is a quote that I like is, you should try to be yourself, because everybody else is already taken. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build the absolute best life for me specifically, that for a lot of people will suck completely. They will hate my life. But me, I like it. So every day I wake up with a smile, and kind of like that's what I do. That's my goal in life.
And, so you've already founded a few other important movements and brands. And one is the Virtual CEO, another one, workless.co, right?
Yeah.
So you're helping, full-on CEOs and corporates around the world to get time back, right?
Yeah.
To become more efficient, and productive. But I guess the question that comes in is that often we're driven to do the things that we do due to perhaps feeling a lack or a challenge in our own lives.
Yeah.
And in overcoming that, we create this incredible opportunity for other people. Mm-hmm. So you know where this is going. So if I were to ask you the question, how did it all start for you from that perspective, if there was something like that?
There's a crucial point in my life that basically led me down that path. Obviously it's your whole upbringing and everything, but I started a business with I had a business partner. Okay, so it was an agency. I don't know if some of you guys have an agency. Most agencies, the business model is pretty simple. Is you get a client who's paying you, let's say, 1,000, then you are outsourcing it for 500, and then you keep the 500 in the middle. You don't have to do the work. Okay?
Who wants to do that? There's a few people here going damn, I should be doing that.
Yeah, like most agencies, this is what they do. Okay? So I had this agency, and it was building websites for people. HTML, CSS, WordPress stuff. That for me, it's ancient Greek. Even to this day, I don't know how that works. So I had a business partner, and we built the business, the company. So I built everything. I created a company, and we got a client. And 2 weeks after we got the client is asking for stuff. Then my business partner bailed out, and so now I end up having to manage a company where I don't understand what's going on because I don't understand HTML and CSS and stuff. So I had two choices. Either I close the company, but it's been 2 weeks, so I figured I might as well try something, right? Or I try to work it out. So I decided that I will try to go to meetings with the clients and try to I would say wing it, right? So I get to the meetings. Client is telling me, look, we need blah, 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 in some language that sounds like ancient Greek to me because I don't understand what it's saying. So I say, huh? So after a few I look like an idiot. So I decided to say, yes, yeah, I got it. So now I go to the developer and ask the developer, look, client wants... And the developer tells me, you're an idiot, go back to the client, ask them and stuff. So, long story short, I looked at the business because at the end of the day, your business is just a system, okay? It's a system. And I look, okay, what is the problem in the system? And the problem in the system was me, right? Because everything had to go through me, but I didn't understand what was going on. So I decided, look, I need to find a way to have this business running, and I need to step away from there because I'm the problem, right? So, at the time, I had a day job, and so what I did was after hours, every night, I got trials of all the project management tools that I could find, automation tools, outsourcing tools, everything. And all night, I will just go through all the tools. I will check every feature they had, and if there was something I liked, I will write it down on a piece of paper. So I just need a piece of paper, right? It's not even like technical. And then in the end, I basically found a developer, and I said, hey, I need you to create a platform that does this, taking a lot of these features, right? So basically, at the end of the day, what happened was I created a platform where my client could talk to my developer, thinking he was talking to me, and he didn't know he wasn't talking to me. And my developer could talk to the client. He didn't know who the client was. And me, I had in the middle the moderation tool that allowed me to moderate, either one of them or both of them, right? Just in case, client, I paid 10 grand for this, and now the other one's like, oh, you paid me 300, you bastard, So I ended up creating the system out of necessity. I wasn't trying to sell it to anybody, right? But then the company started running. And so this is when I realized, I said, hey, the whole time I thought you had to be in the system, but you don't actually have to do it. And so from there, now every time I create a business, I know it can run without me. So from the beginning, it's designed to run without my intervention. So I will just start it. And then now I know this, I build systems to make sure that I don't have to do the work long term. But that's actually how it started. Out of necessity, like survival mode, I had to find a solution to my problem.
What always interests me is so I've heard I hear what you're saying, right? Where I go to is, how many people would be prepared to do that? And if so, if you could point at a specific quality or set of qualities that you would say you need to have to get into this sort of operation where you look at the world like this, creating businesses without me being involved, them running successfully and profitably, without feeling bad that I'm not doing the work, without feeling whatever this guy I'm paying this, that guy I'm paying that, whatever it might be. So what maybe 1 or 2 or 3 qualities people watching here and watching online would you say that are required for you to be successful doing what you do?
Well, I think you need to make an honest assessment of yourself. So understanding what you're good at, what you're not good at, what you like to do, what you don't like to do. All right? Once you have this list, you will be able to figure out. So let's say you can get rid of, let's say 95% of stuff that has to do, but there is stuff that you enjoy doing. There's stuff I absolutely love doing, so I'm not going to try and automate those. Okay, so I look at all the stuff that I don't like doing, all the stuff that I'm not good at, and then I will go and try to automate those first, right? Then there is stuff like I'm a creator. I love creating, right? So I'm not going to outsource that to someone else. That's what makes me happy every day. I wake up, I create stuff. I create stuff that yesterday I thought it was impossible, So it's more this, so understanding like who you are first, and then based on that, you will know, okay, I need to get rid of this particular aspect of the business because it's just not me doing it. Like even 5 minutes of my time. I mean, there are things in business you have to do them, but just 5 minutes of my time, it will suck the life out of me, And so I want to get rid of those things. And then, I mean, afterwards, I think that's the first thing is understanding like who you are, what you can do, right? And then afterwards, it's also you probably heard of like you need to find your why, the reason why you're doing that stuff, because it is actually very important to find that why, not just for like marketing and stuff like that, but it's that stuff it's tough, right? Sometimes, some days it will suck. You try something, nothing works. It sucks, right? And if you're doing this just for the money, you'll be like, you know what? I don't need the money, and then you just give up. Okay, so you need something stronger than this that will get you through all this like hardship and stuff. Because it wasn't super easy. Because again, I had no idea what I was doing, right? I was just reverse engineering what some other people were doing, so I can only see the front end. And it took like nights, like sleepless nights and stuff to do this. And you need to have like a pretty powerful like why to do this.
So let's get into some of the processes, right? I know that some people here are hungry for the process. By the way, you will all get a chance to ask some questions soon, right? So if you have a question in your mind, specifically, we have a third microphone that will come to you. Remember, the first series of questions will be on camera. So if you don't want to be on camera, don't put your hand up. If you don't mind that, please feel free to ask. So take us through, and maybe think of an automation that you've done recently in a way that you can break it down into its constituent elements of thought and action that people here can kind of follow and get an idea, a feel for what it is that you do.
Okay, let me think of a cool one. I have a lot of cool automations that I've created recently. All right, so there is this automation that I've done. I am trying to create I want to create a website, right? It's like a repository of, let's say, for example, you want to create the best, like a repository of the best, hotels in Bali, okay? It does take a lot of time. So you have to go there, you have to check the hotels, you have to check the reviews and stuff. I don't want to do this, okay? So my take is, and this is what I do in a lot of my developments, is instead of me trying to reinvent the wheel, the best thing I can do is to find someone who's already done it, okay? There's someone, their main business is to do this, okay? So instead of me doing the research, I'll just grab their research, all right? So what I do is I find those guys, and then I have created a robot. So every time...
create a robot, just everyone keeps up, create a robot.
Yeah, it's not me. I'm not technical. Please, I am not technical. I can create automations without code, but I also have a developer. I ask the developer, we need to do this, and he does it, okay? But the guy is amazing. The guy is really amazing. So basically what I do is I find those guys, and this is their job. This is what they do. They spend like 10 hours a day doing it. And as soon as they add something, then I will just go and grab it. Right? I grab it, I will rewrite it, and then I have another robot that's basically going to go and create the images for me. It's going to take a screenshot of what I want, put it on an image server, put it on my website. And so I think I have like 5,000 to 6,000 listings on my site. I don't have to touch it because every time these guys work, they work for me, right? And so I'm encouraging them to go and keep doing the work,
All right. So I know a little bit about what he's saying, right, and what's coming next, but it still makes me smile, right? It's like, so okay, you come up with this idea. I want to do this. Right, where's the information? So there was a guy, Tarush Agarwal, who's on the show. Tarush is a great guy, beautiful man. He was the head of data at WeWork. WeWork was the fastest growing company in the world at the time. He's been on the show, right? He's actually here at Tropical Nomad quite often. Now, what he said in his interview was that, Rob, most people make the mistake of saying, with the data that I have, I want to make this decision, whatever decision that might be. Let's call it a qualitative decision, right? Wrong way to go about it. He said, no. Whatever it is that you want, then ask yourself, which data do I need to make the best decision? So in other words, not use what I already have because it's convenient. It's sit down, strategize, which data do I need, the best data to make the best decision, and then go and get that data. Okay, so now I hear you, right? Is that right? You know, I want to build a website for property listing. So you build a robot that then goes out. Its job is to basically scrape all the internet, going through all these different questions that you've set up for it, to basically scrape all of this data, right? Then put that in one place. Then you create another robot that will then create images or something to then match.
Yeah, it will create images, then it will connect to my own website. It's going to create all the listings. What else does it do? Does a whole bunch of things. So basically, the whole thing just runs.
By itself.
Yes.
Love it. And then so one of the conversations we had in the past was this thing about, you know, he hasn't used Instagram or any paid ads for, he'll tell you, but many years. Why? Because he doesn't need to. So most of us, all right, I'm going to probably regret this one day when I look back at this. I have not done any social media ads, right, in my life. It's terrible, right? Someone like me should have done hundreds by now, but I haven't, right? So when I listen to someone like this who said, and you tell me in a minute, he hasn't used or doesn't need to use any of the Instagram, YouTube, Facebook ads that most of us would use because he's already got, as he said to you, he has found a way to automate the process of grabbing, finding, scraping, acquiring all of the leads that you could possibly wish for.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's about targeting them to a specific place where you can monetize.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so basically, I mean, there are a few things that people need to remember. Facebook ads, I think, was that like 2012 or something? I mean, we've been on this planet for like a long time. Before Facebook, people were still making business. People were making money. So Facebook is not the only way to grab leads. And also, at the end of the day, when you look at why are people running ads, because at the end of the day, they want to get your email. So if I can find a way to get your email without having to do this stuff, I don't need ads. So that's the reason why I don't run ads, because I have ways of getting the email straight away at zero acquisition costs instead of paying. I don't know, like I was running a test recently. I was running an ad on like Pinterest. I was testing Pinterest just to see. And I think it was like, I was paying like $20 or something for one email, where I can get like thousands every day for free, you know? So it's a big advantage not having to, have acquisition costs and paying, I don't know, God knows how much, And for example, I have a webinar today. Yeah. Yes, so my webinar is in like a few hours, I guess, but it's already recorded, it's automated, okay? And so technically, if you want to get people in your webinar, if you run ads, it's gonna cost you on average, this is a global average, it's about $72 per person, per registrant. That's the global average, okay? In the last 14 days, I have more than 1,500 people who signed up to the webinar for free. I didn't pay a dime. It saved me more than $110,000.
Okay, did everybody get that? Okay, we've done this a few times, Speak Up Monday, right? But then when I look out into the audience when my guest is speaking, I like to look at the expressions on people's faces. Sometimes the expressions are like, today they're like, but this is exactly what I thought when I first had this chat to him, right? I was like, oh my God. So you saved yourself $110,000,
yep.
Right? You got 1,500 people to sign up for your webinar without spending a dime.
Yes.
in monetary value. But someone here might say, yes, Martin, but how much time did it take to set that up?
That was the first time we were doing this. It's actually Didi over there was actually doing this, helping me out
My
with
brother.
this.
We're going to hang out after. You mean hanging out a lot,
Yeah.
a lot.
So it will take approximately, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 4 hours, right? 4 hours. So we've been doing this for the last 2 weeks, and it's about 4 hours a day. So we have a system. We were testing. I had this hypothesis. I was like, okay, let's try this. Okay, and I briefed Didi. I said, hey, can you please help me out? And yeah, it's about 4 hours a day. We've done it for 14 days, and it's about 100. Let's say 100 plus people every day that basically said they were going to attend the event. And it's I mean, for me, it's very positive. I didn't spend a dime. Then the event is later today, so I have no idea how many people are going to show up. I don't know. I'll see later. I think it's at midnight here. So for now, I don't have the stats of how many showed up. I don't know. We'll see.
I've got a feeling there are going to be some questions. So, Sister Ayu, sorry, darling, I'm going to grab you early. So there's a third microphone. Remember, when it comes to you, just point it at your mouth. I say it every week, and someone always does this. But it's okay. I'll say it again. So if you have a question, just think what it is in the next minute or so, and we'll grab the mic, and it will come around to you. I've got a feeling there's going to be questions. So just to clarify again for everybody here and everyone who's watching. So what you're saying is that what you do is you have the idea of what it is that you might want to do, right? And then instead of that, the next thought process that you have is like, right, where is the most important data for me? Where is it out there in the world online, let's say? Then you create, in this particular case, a bot that its job is to go and scrape or to acquire that information, right? And then you create a number of supplementary bots which then add further value to that data.
Yeah.
And then you can, or part of that process, you can direct it to somewhere where you can now monetize it.
Exactly.
Okay, and this thing will just keep on running and running and running without your intervention.
Yeah. Yeah, they're designed for this. That's so. I mean, the first automations I did, they weren't as sophisticated. Obviously, the more you do, the better you get at it. So, for example, in the beginning, there were some automations that I was doing, and I had to come and change a few things once in a while. So once in a week, I had a notification, go in there, change something. Okay. So now what I do, I program it in the bot already. So, for example, I have an automation on Quora. Does anybody know Quora? Okay, so Quora, for example, I have 67 accounts on Quora answering questions for me. Right now, they're answering questions. And then I have 400 other Quora accounts whose job is to upvote those accounts who answer questions. Okay? And so basically, what I've done is, so these robots, I mean, I give them a list of keywords that I want them to go and check on Quora, so that they type the keyword, they find the questions, they answer. They check, have we answered this, yes or no, they will answer. So for example, I can tell the tool, go and answer X many questions. But I can also tell the tool, go answer X many questions, but then increase by 10% every day until you reach 30%. So I don't have to come and change something, right? Now with experience, now I know how to do this. So now in all my developments, I will put some numbers like this. So for example, and this is for like social media, right? Social media, if you want to automate social media, I have automated like all of them, like thousands of accounts. So one thing is, how do you reckon social media, how do they make money? Does anybody know how they make money, like social media, social networks? Ads, exactly. Ads. Okay, because so here's the thing. This is not just for this specific case. Okay, this is you can use it for anything. If I understand how you make money, I'm able to determine what your priority is, what your metrics are, and based on that, I will just make sure to give you what you want. Okay. So, for example. Facebook or Instagram, because Instagram, I think that's the one I've automated the most. So Instagram, they make money because you see ads, right? Now, the more ads you see, the more money they make. So obviously their metric is we need people to stay on our platform. Okay? Now, if your automation is trying to drag them outside the platform, trust me, they're not going to give you any love. All right? So what you want to do when you automate, you want to keep people on the platform or in the Facebook ecosystem. So if you send them to Facebook, to WhatsApp, or to Messenger, it's fine. It's still Facebook. If you try to send them out, now this is when the filter gets really paranoid, and this is how you get suspended. Okay? So, so for example, it's the same for Quora. So Quora, as long as you keep people there, it's fine. So what I've done is, you can put links inside Quora, but if you put too many links, then it's a problem. At some point, they're going to say you're up to something. So I configured something in my bot that says, okay, 5% of the time you're going to put an external link. Okay, so that gives me enough time to build goodwill with the platform, but then increase by 5% every day, right? Until you reach 30%. So now, at some point, now all my 67 accounts, they're able to put an external link once every 3 articles, and it's perfectly fine because it just went gradually, and I've built enough goodwill with the platform so that they leave me alone, all right? So it's just this, understanding. If you understand how the person makes money, you understand what is the metric that they're paying attention to. Make sure you're not going against that metric. You stay within that, and then you stay under the radar. That's how.
All right. So just seeing, you got people here like clapping already. We're not done yet, girl. Just hold the applause. But I get you. Again, every time I speak to him, it's like something in my head goes poof.
No.
Like another poof, and another little light goes on. So question, right? So just see if everyone is awake. How many people here know about TikTok? Raise your hand. Great. How many here are using TikTok? A few. Okay. Tell them about the TikTok automation that you've been running.
Oh, gee, I have many. Okay, I have like 100 or something accounts on TikTok. And so I have many bots actually on TikTok. So there's one bot. Basically, what it does, it will go and find content for me on TikTok based on the criteria that I've defined. So I can say, yeah. So I will basically say, go find this type of content, but only grab the ones that have more than X thousand views or X thousand likes. So now I grab those. Okay. So now I put them in the folder. And then there's another bot. Now this bot's job is to grab something randomly from that folder and then post it on my other accounts, okay? And then to create the caption to say, oh, go to this place and blah, blah. So basically, I'm leveraging other people's content, so which has something to do with what I'm doing. And then in the caption, I'm telling people go places, right? So I've done that with, so there's another type of content which is, it's just like human nature, right? So if there are some people, you either love them or you hate them, okay? But if they're there, you're gonna watch.
I love you, man. Just saying,
right?
Love you, man.
So I don't know, like Jeff Bezos. I think a lot of people like Mark Zuckerberg. People don't necessarily like him. What's the guy's name? Is that Andrew Tate? Is that the guy's name? Andrew Tate. If you see his face, you're gonna watch. Okay. So I made a list of all these guys that when you see their face, Elon Musk, you will check what they're saying. Okay, and so I have another bot. It's basically looking for videos with these guys with a specific angle that I can use, and I put them on my social media. So people are going to see their face, they're going to watch it, right? And then afterwards, I send them somewhere, saying, "Hey, you want to learn about this? There you go. Go blah." And then I have other bots. Then for TikTok, they are going to interact with other TikTok accounts. So they're basically going to go like some posts and then. If someone commented or something, they were going to comment back. If they liked, it's going to go see their profile and stuff. Because I kind of studied the notification process on TikTok. Okay, so what I mean is, so if you want to automate something, check the notifications. Okay, so Instagram, for example, who's using Instagram? Everybody, yeah? Okay, so if I like your picture on Instagram, what happens? You get a notification. If you click on that notification, where does that take you? It takes you to the photo. Now, on the photo, you need to find me. You need to click, oh, who's the guy who liked, and then you need to find me there. It's a problem. Now, if I follow you, when you click on the notification, you come to my account, right? So why am I going to waste my energy on liking your pictures when the best thing I can do is to follow you so that you come to my account and you're like, oh, wow, who's this guy? And then now you interact, all right? So I've done that with Instagram, but then I did it with TikTok. So I went on TikTok and I did all the notification thingies and I clicked on it to see, okay, what happens? TikTok is a lot easier, right? And so then the bots are designed based on that kind of stuff to know what kind of ROI I can get based on when people click, you know?
You know, like what might be happening for you right now, as it constantly happens for me when I speak to you. God dang! It's like there's a few things that come up. One is, if you can't beat them, join them. That's one that comes up. Everyone's like, that's right. The other one was Wayne Thompson, who partner in the funding, founder of the funding, and Biomia is this massive, like the Alibaba for Indonesia, right? And remember, we had him on the show talking about AI, right? And he was saying something like, you know, like, okay, let me step back. Anyone here bet on the stock market or invest in the stock market or crypto or anything like that? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. Maybe I don't pick things up so fast, right? But I didn't really understand that what a market is a bunch of people on one side believing one set of things. This is going to go up. This is going to go down. Then on the other side, you got those who believe kind of the opposite, right? And think that, well, that's going to go down. That's a good price. I'm going to buy it. So in other words, it's pinning you against other people. It's actually quite competitive. I didn't realize this for a long time, right? Okay, so let me bring you back. So with Wayne and the AI, right, and we had this whole AI series here with lots of different experts. Check out on the back copy. Like, it was like this. Human versus human is, well, which one has the best knowledge, background, skills will probably win. Human plus AI, I've got a feeling that the human alone isn't going to win in this particular case of a market, right? So, so when I kind of think about people like this, who's got hundreds of accounts on hundreds of different platforms, well, not hundreds, but hundreds of accounts on many different platforms, who are doing what he's just told you, you kind of scratch your head and think, okay, I have a choice to make. I can either continue to hit my head up against a wall if I really want to compete with these guys, or it's like, I think I should make a new friend and go and join him, right? So he does have a mentoring course that we'll talk about later on if we get to it. But these are the things which come up for me, right? So in case any of you are in that position of shock and horror, as I still kind of am, it's okay to be there, right? Because again, what we're talking about tonight is how do you create a life that you don't need to escape from, right? And for most of us, including me, right, the income piece is an important piece, right? So if all of us here had enough income to live the sort of life that we wanted, what would we then do with our life? I'll repeat the question. So if all of us here had all of the income that we needed to sustain the lifestyle that we were comfortable with, what then would you do with your life? All right, you don't need to answer me now, but it's an important question that I'm going to get to you in a second. So now, Sister Ayu, I know she's sat all comfortably now. Now I'm going to ask her to get up. So the microphone is here, okay? And then, so anyone who's got a question, raise your hand. We've got Carol over here. I think there's going to be a few questions. While we're getting the mic to Carol, question for you, my brother.
Yep.
So, and you've probably asked yourself this. So if you have all of the income piece sorted out, right? What is it then that drives you?
Yeah, the thing is, and before I answer this question, I just want to address one simple thing. Is it's another question that I will ask, which is, how much money do you actually need? You know, because that's the thing. Like, there's if you look at it, like for example, me in my case, I have a very simple lifestyle, my friend. I I eat the same thing at every meal. I am not fancy, and I think like $3,000, I'm good. And $3,000, I can even travel, right? So the thing before you start thinking about all the money in the world is how much money do you actually need? How much is enough? Because then you're never going to be satisfied with anything. But then, I mean, for me, the thing is, I'm at a point right now where I get all my satisfaction, and I'm going to say this. Some people might think it's bullshit. I thought it was bullshit when I heard people say this back in the days, but now I understand is I'm actually helping the next generation to do what I do and to do better, right? So basically, I am all these things there. I'm documenting them for some youngsters that I think are very promising. Everything that I told you, I document everything. They know everything. And I want them to kind of like, I think the best gift that you can give someone is to teach them how to make decisions, okay? It's not, I can teach you how Instagram works, it's gonna change tomorrow. But every single second of your day, you make decisions. And if you have a good framework for making the decisions that take you towards your destination, it doesn't have to be like this, but as long as it's, like this, it's going to work out. So basically, when I document all this, I don't just show them the tool. I say, this is the issue that I had. This is where I'm trying to go. This is who I am, right? So who I am is very important to what it looks like in the end, because we're very different people. It might look very different, okay? So I want them to understand, okay, he made this decision because X, Y, Z, and because he's like this. So now they understand my chain of thought, but I want them to build their own so that they can create their own tools, their own life that matches who they are, and not copy my life, because again, my life will be very boring for most of you, right? And so that's what I do. So now, every day I create new stuff, I document it, and I help people here from Indonesia because the island has been very, very nice. I mean, this island is very nice to us. A lot of us come here and complain, it's not like in France and stuff. I'm French, okay? So if you're French, don't worry. I'm French as well. But at the end of the day, I mean, the island and this country is very nice to us. Look at an Indonesian who's trying to go to France, good luck. We can come here, we can enjoy, and my duty is I'm trying to pass the knowledge over to someone who's going to do good with it. So that's kind of like what I do now.
Love it, brother. My brother. My brother.
Yeah.
Now you know, right? 200 episodes ago, I should have invited him then. It's okay, man. We're doing it now. Carol, over to you.
So, working? Yeah. One of the reasons I come to SpeakuP Mondays is to find out about the mind of the man that's behind the business. Yeah. So, and what interests me specifically is how what you do in business transfers to your private life. Oh, so I have a fun question.
This is a pre-frame right now.
And the question is, what is the place of automation in one's love or dating life?
Ooh la la! Yes. I love that response. Ooh la la! I have the same one, but I'm good. I'm not dating.
Okay. This is recorded, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's recorded, brother. Oh yeah.
Okay. Now okay. Here's the thing. I am terrible at. So if you understand who you are, what you need to be happy, okay? I am the sort of guy I can go 10 hours, 15 hours doing something. My immediate preoccupation is what's in front of me. I'm not thinking of someone else and like, oh my God, I need to send a message. I'm terrible at this, and I get a lot of grief for this. It's terrible. And so I have considered building a bot that will actually send some of those messages for me. Because I saw a guy, this guy was very smart. So there was a guy in a company, and the day he left, they found out about all the automations that he had put in place. He was like the IT guy. And so he had an automation, but it was getting down to like details. So he calculated how long it will take him to walk to the coffee machine. And so, because the coffee machine was connected to the network. So he pressed a button, and it will start the coffee machine. And by the time he walked there, he just did this, grabbed the coffee, left, okay? But he had an automation for the wife. So the automation said if he is still in the office at 6:10, it will automatically send a message to the wife saying, hey, sorry, I'm going to be late and stuff. And I was like, this is genius. I need to come up with something like this. Periodically, oh, I'm thinking about you, baby, blah, blah, blah. But it's recorded. Please edit this, yeah?
But I'm laughing because it is very funny, but come on, man. Every man in a relationship is like, that's a damn good idea. Be honest. Be honest. Ladies too.
Yeah, I mean, so technically, I mean, you could trigger something like with like geolocation. So when you're around some place, it just sends a I don't know, like a trigger something. But anyway, yeah, that's the sort of stuff that I've been thinking of doing because, I'm notoriously bad for these things. Does that answer your question?
I wanted to know how it helps you actually select a mate.
Oh, okay. It really, it really doesn't. So here's the thing. I'm
happy to hear that.
Yes. No, I don't. Yeah, here's the thing. I think that, and this is my opinion, right? And it's one of those things I wanted to say that in the beginning, but everything you hear here is my opinion, his opinion. Tony Robbins says something, that's his opinion and stuff. So that it is just my opinion. So, but it might get someone to think about, oh, I've never seen it this way. So what I think is, I've never been on any of the dating apps or anything like that, because, and this is my opinion, my opinion is, when you're looking for something, you might see stuff that's not there. You see what you want to see, right? It's not necessarily there. Now, if you're not looking for anything, you might be surprised. Something will hit you in the face, right? And so, for example, Tinder and stuff, when you're on Tinder, on your profile, obviously you need to, look like, I don't know, you're an athlete, you're blah, blah, blah. And people they're not going to be themselves, right? They're going to show you something that you want. Oh, I love him. He said this, but he just said it once. Whereas the way I work is I will see people in like regular circumstances, and I get to see them in stressful situations, really tense, and I can see how they are because sometimes I don't know, you find a Tinder date and then the crazy eyes come out at some point, and you're like, oh my god, I didn't see that on your profile, So,
get out.
So I'll say I'm not looking for anybody in particular. Sometimes it will hit me. I will be like, oh, you know what? That person, I've known that person for 6 months. They had no incentive of trying to be someone else. I had no incentive. So that person that I see there is the person that, is the real person. And that's kind of like how I go about it.
Great questions. Next question. Hands up over here. Anyone behind you, right at the back? Yeah, so... Good, all right. I'm just laughing at it. Get out. that could be a whole new thing. How do you automate Tinder? But that's not a story for another day.
Well, yeah, coming back to another kind of automations, about the platforms that you were saying you were using, you had on TikTok, Instagram, Quora. The question is do you think there will be a boiling point where there are more bots than people, or if that point is there already? And will there be time to time they do like weeding out of this stuff, so the platforms kind of cope against this kind of automations, and then you have to start from ground zero? Like, how do you see that, like, approaching that issue? And for someone who's for example, considering starting automations now, what kind of chances? Is it too late? Is it too soon? Is there no timeline? What do you think?
So there's about 3 questions in one, which is super cool. And keep that in your mind because you might forget after I'm about to say. So the other day had the challenge with the open AI. I think that might be a good time to bring that into this question. So,
Yeah. So the first question was, oh Jesus Christ, my memory is not the best. What was the first question?
Yeah, do you think is there a boiling point of that too many bots, more bots than people on platforms?
No, I think there's. I mean, these platforms obviously they, especially if they're running ads, they have an incentive in making sure that the bots that are there, or at least theirs, because they do have bots themselves, but because the advertiser is not going to be happy. So you see a whole bunch of clicks, you don't get any money, you'll go to the competition. Okay, so they will definitely go and clean the system, which brings me to the second question, which is yes, they will crack down on bots. It happens very often. I remember I had 500 Instagram accounts running. It was beautiful.
Wait a second. 500
yes.
Instagram accounts running. Just want to clarify that.
It was beautiful. And then I wake up one morning and I can see suspended, 400. I lost 400 accounts in one day. But that's the thing is, when you do automation, you have to go with the mindset that one day these accounts might get shut down. As much as it sucks, you need to go. Expectations are killing you in anything. It's the expectations that kill you. So if you understand that, hey, we had a good run, then we'll figure something out. Then you'll be fine. But it also depends on how you do it. So most people will get hit by the crackdown and stuff because they don't necessarily know how to automate. Okay, so if you want to automate an account, every account needs to look like a completely different person. Okay, so they all have a different IP address. So you can buy something called proxies. So they all connect from, Brazil, Sweden and stuff. So it looks at someone there. They have different browsers, different type of computers. The profile has to look nice and everything. So, I mean, the accounts that we automate, in my company, we make them look really, really like genuine. And here's the thing. There's something that I call the paranoia line for any system. Okay, on a system, if you have 100 users, the system will determine, okay, what does the average user do? Okay, and this becomes the standard, right? So now, if you go, so let's say this is the line, this is the average user. If you're here, system is not looking at you. If you're there, it says this is not normal. What's happening there? So you have two choices. Either you take one account and you go there, or you take 100 accounts and you stay here, and they will never see you, right? So I've tried going there, like Quora, for example, when I automated the first time, my account went from 0 to like 5 million views in like 30 days. And they were like, this is not normal. Damn. They suspended me. Now I'm spreading the love between a lot of accounts. They're all under the paranoia line. I'm fine. So if you take that approach, you will be fine. And don't try to be greedy. Look at the long term, right? Because it takes a long time to rebuild those things, which I don't want to do.
And I guess the last question was, is it too late for new people to jump, or is there no such thing?
No, it's not too late because, here's the thing. I learned about social media automation in 2016, okay? I met some folks here in Bali, and I was asking them, oh, how do you guys generate leads? And they said, Instagram. And I said, I only watch puppies and kitties and stuff on Instagram. How do you do that? And they said, we cannot tell you. You have to join our team. You have to pay $2,000, and we tell you. It was like some MLM stuff. And I was like, hey, you know what? I want the knowledge. I want to understand how that works. So I paid the $2,000, and then I learned, right? So all these systems are pretty much the same. It's the same thing. Once you understand the mechanics of how the system works, you will be able to automate any social media. Right? Now there are differences. Instead of likes, it's called a heart, it's called a blah, blah, blah. But the philosophy is the same. So, for example, don't try to take people out of the platform too soon and stuff like that. So it's never too late. If you learn this today, a new social media network comes out tomorrow, you will be at the top, like straight away. Right? And there's always going to be one that comes out. It's just the strategy. Once you learn the strategy, the rest is tools. Okay? And that's one thing that's actually very important for everybody to know is if you meet someone who's very successful, if you meet like a billionaire or something, the worst thing you can ask them is what tools you use. Don't ask them. You need to ask them what strategy you used, okay? Because here's the thing. The strategy is like when you're cooking, it's like your recipe, okay? You have the recipe, you take some sugar, you take some blah, blah, blah. Let's say your dedicated sugar place is Pepito. But then, well, now Pepito doesn't have sugar, you go to freaking Frestives, okay? It's just a tool. You can replace it. As long as you have the strategy, which is the recipe, the tools don't matter. They will come and go. You know? And so learning about automating social media, it teaches you the strategy, and then the rest is just tools. Just figure out how they work.
Beautiful question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we'll bring that one forward. Are you over there? Now, just while we find another question.
I just have just something. Yeah. I know some people who do some automation with dating stuff. Okay, I don't do it. I just find it absolutely brilliant. I don't want to spoil their business. They will kill me, these people. But anyway, so what they do is they use Tinder. Okay, and there is a lesson behind that, right? That I used the same principle. I did it some other way, but they use Tinder. So they will create a Tinder profile, and in the bio they will put a riddle, right? So the riddle will say, my first is before 1. My second is 2 + 2, blah, 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 okay? And it says, if you solve it, you're worthy of talking to me. So obviously, what does every dude do? It's usually women, very nice-looking women, okay? So what does every dude do? Let me solve the riddle. So you solve the riddle, and now you have a WhatsApp number, okay?
Why are guys so predictable? Sorry, had to say it. Sorry.
Yeah. So now you have this WhatsApp number. This thing is beautiful, what these guys are doing. And so now you message the WhatsApp, right? So now what they have is they've configured an automated response on this WhatsApp that basically says, oh, my husband is so jealous, that bastard. He's looking inside my phone. The best thing is contact me on this website there. This is my handle. And it's a dating website with an affiliate program. So when you sign up, they make $50. And they have like hundreds of phones who are vibrating all day. Bzz, 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 bzz. And then dudes are signing up to that thing, and then they're making money. Wow. So anyway, it's not very nice, okay? It is not nice. We can agree on that. Right?
Disclaimer, Martin is not doing this. This
no,
is
I am
something
not.
that he heard of from someone else.
Yes.
In a sauna.
I'm not doing that. But here's the thing. The story, the tools and stuff, that's what I was saying. The tools don't matter, okay? It's the strategy. The main thing that I got from that, I thought it was brilliant because the customer has the incentive to contact the seller, all right? If I'm the one saying, please sell me the blah, 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 it's easier for you to sell me something. Yeah. So this is what you want to do. You want to try to find a way in whatever you're doing to make sure that the person you want to sell to has the incentive to contact you. It's not you chasing them. They chase you.
Raving fan.
Yes. And so then think about, okay, in my business, how do I get people to do this? Me, I found a way to do it, which is not unethical or anything like that. But I'm using that reverse psychology now in what I'm doing. I can give you one gold nugget. Okay. So for example, if I contact you and I say, hey Robert, can you show me what products you sell? Can you send me the sales page? I can maybe send it to some of my buddies. What do? You send me the damn sales page, right? So you will answer me. So if I contact you on LinkedIn and say, oh, I want to sell you that, you're going to say, no, I don't want to talk to you. If I tell you, hey, I might buy from you, what do? You answer. We start a conversation. And I tell you, I might have some people that I can forward that to in my network, and maybe they're going to buy. So now you are interested, okay? Someone did that to me. I was like, those bastards. Yeah. And I was like, this is brilliant, okay? And then afterwards, when I message you back, what do you think? Oh, maybe they found someone. And then you open again, you know? So that kind of stuff, you know? It's just like psychology.
We don't stand a chance, man. I'm sorry. Brilliant. Yeah, so we have a question? Yeah, over here somewhere? No? Yeah, yep. My brother.
All right. My man.
All right, so just wait till the camera comes over to you and we get the microphone up.
Oh, there's a camera.
There you go. Okay, my brother. Yeah.
So you've been doing this automation stuff for like, let's say, it's been years, right? So I'm new with this AI, with this automation stuff, and my question is, so let's say if I would like to start automate something that requires, like back in the times where it requires a lot of like, mastering Pythons or like Zapier, and like you got to reach out developers and things like that. Mm-hmm. So it's been it's been a year that I've starting to explore a little bit of AI stuff that actually have got some cool stuff that actually helping us in terms of like making the processes faster, or also like reducing the outsourcing and things like that. So is there any tips and recommendations that you can give us? How can we utilize AI tools in order for us to learn this automation faster, or also with a low budget, then we can actually try to automate little things or any bigger things in the future.
Yeah, so what I will say is, the thing is, today you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So the good news is, and this is something that I learned early on, is if you have a problem, there's a very good chance that someone had that problem as well, and it was so bad that they created a tool for it. So one skill you need to have is Google. Type automation for a BLAM, and you might find it. Right? A lot of people are like, oh my God, how do you do this? I went on Google and I found the tool because someone had this problem, right? And so a lot of tools don't require you coding anything or hiring a developer and stuff. And just start with, so 2 places to start. You want to start with stuff that you are already doing, okay? Because here is like AI, everybody heard of AI. AI is a blessing and it's a nightmare. For me, it's a nightmare to keep me focused because you could do literally anything. Oh my God, what is this? And then I start looking into something that has nothing to do with me, right? So what you want to do, start with the stuff that you're actually doing right now, all right? And start simple. You can start with an automation that has like 2 steps. If this happens, then this happens. And then later down the road, you're talking to someone and like, oh yeah, me, I do this. And you're like, oh my God. And then you add another brick, okay? I have automations, they have 100 different steps, like 100 things happen, okay? I press a button, 100 things happen. But they didn't start that long, okay? So start with the stuff you're doing, start with a simple automation that saves you time, and also look at the stuff you're not gifted for, or you don't like doing. Okay, me in my case, social media, I don't like social media. I'm sorry, I hate it. I don't like it. That's the reason why I automate it, because I'm not, I don't like it. So those 3 things, you'll be able to automate things. It will save you time, and then it gives you more time to think of how do I make it better. You add another brick, and then next thing you know, the more automations you do, the easier it's going to be. You're like, oh wait, I had this brick in the other one. How can I transfer it to the other one? So yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense. Does that help?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Yeah. So look, what we're going to do now, as we begin to wrap up, so I'd like to talk about the mentoring, right? That you're doing. 'Cause I think it's fantastic. Because some people here might be saying, right, well, how do I do what he does? Good luck. He can also assist, right? So maybe just talk about what you go through, right? In a minute, give you time to think, not that you need to. So for those of you here, so this is Speak Up Monday episode number 398. And this is what it's about, right? We have a full studio here of live audience, all different shapes and sizes from all different countries of the world from what I can see. And I love that, right? Because remember, unity and diversity, as you see on the screen, people inspire people. That's what this has really always been about, right? So, firstly, I just want to thank everyone who's come here. Really appreciate you coming and coming out, because again, it's easy to sit at home, but then what you miss out on is the interplay that happens here, the discussions that happen afterwards, maybe with Martin or other members of the audience, which again, like we hold the key to each other, right? So in other words, what it means is that the person that you not need, but the person that could be able to contribute to you is either sitting right next to you or across the room from you. So in these sorts of environments, that's the power of coming live taking the time, an hour and a half, whatever it is, to come and watch live and interact, have a conversation with people. That can't be automated as far as I can see. Not yet anyway. No, not yet. But this is the non-automation, right? So that's one. Number two, we have a series which is a follow-up to Speak Up Monday, which is called Thriving in Indonesia series. We've done number one that was all about, and this is like a knowledge share with experts like Martin here. The first one was about if foreigners get into trouble, or to avoid getting into trouble in the areas of criminal. In other words, you have an accident and you hurt someone or you kill someone, what do you do? In tax as well as visas, right? That was Dodo from Bali Solve. That was Lamria and Keld from DDC Lawyers and Reda from Emma Hub. Coming up next Tuesday, not tomorrow, but a week tomorrow on the 5th of December, will be how do you plug into business here? And business can be real estate, it can be e-commerce, and it can also be blockchain and probably a bit of AI as well. So we've got to have 3 or 4 really incredible experts. It's free. It gives you an opportunity to have this, but usually not filmed, and be able to go deep, right? So that's coming up on the 5th of December, and it's Thriving in Indonesia series, Spotlight Bali. And that's how to plug into business, right? So e-commerce, real estate, and what else did I say? You got blockchain and a bit of AI as well. So I'm coming up to the last few questions. So you heard from Martin tonight. Again, he's a guy who I thoroughly enjoy. Every time I meet him, part of my brain feels like it's expanding or exploding.
Good, my man.
One of those two, right? I think he's an incredible guy. And if you get to know him, you get to know that this man has an incredible heart. But again, he's giving this back to Indonesia as well, right? In a really powerful way. So knowing all of that, yeah, just give us maybe a couple of minutes or so. You know, if people want to come and learn more and want you to assist them, what sorts of things do you go through? Yeah.
So I have a few things. So there is something I've created recently. It's pretty recent. It's like maybe 6 months ago. I created a mastermind where I basically teach people what I do. So the sort of stuff that I showed you here, but they get to see the back end of that. And they also get a lot of the tools that I've created to scratch my own itch. So for example, one day someone, I said, I would like to be able to create one business per day. They told me it's impossible. I said, watch me. So I created a tool that does this. So it's in there. So people in the mastermind, they get access to all these tools. And then the knowledge of, so not just the knowledge like, oh, go here, do this, but also kind of like the mindset, the philosophy, the strategy that they can go and apply in their own business and beyond, right? So so I started this event. I keep it small, I don't advertise it because I want the right people in there. Simply,
they're just that's a little pussy cat that just walked across set. We usually have cats, dogs. I'll stop there, but they're all welcome. We're in Bali. This is how we roll.
Yeah, so it's a small community. I think we're like 16 right now. Reason being that the way my company is set up for the last 10 years, for example, in my company, we have 0 meetings. I don't have meetings. I don't have customer calls. I don't have anything to do with the customer. I don't like people to bug me and bother me. Right? I don't like it. People leave me alone. So anyway, so
customer service guy right there.
Yes. And you know what? I actually studied in customer service. Oh, no, I loved it. I actually loved it. And I think everybody should work in customer service. Everything I do today is because of that job of customer service. But yeah, and so I like to only have people that I really enjoy in there, and not people that are going to bug me with like, so I keep it very small. And so it's, I like to get to know the person, see what it is that they're trying to do, their mentality and stuff, and then maybe if they're a good fit, they can join the community. So, the community is basically entrepreneurs. Like, people who have established businesses, some doing SEO, some are doing like real estate and stuff like that. So we get together once a week, and we have 4 types of calls. So there is first call is mindset, okay? But it's not mindset like, come on, my man, you can do it. You know, it's not that. It's the mindset that you actually need to be successful in, not just in business, but in anything that helps you move forward, right? Then second week is like automation. So I will second week is ask me anything. Okay, so you come with a problem, you say, hey, I'm trying to build this. And then I will help you, we'll build it together. Okay? Then third week is automations. So I will show you automations that I do. And then week number 4, which for me is very important, is implementation. So whatever you asked 2 weeks ago, then we need to make sure that you're working on it so that there's actually progress. Because what matters is the progress, is the output. It's not just getting the knowledge, you know? And so, yeah, so it's that plus all the amazing, incredible tools that I create, well, some of them, that are in there. And so, yeah, that's what it is.
You know, I really appreciated the conversation tonight. And by the way, if you're looking at hanging out with this guy, don't be a pain in the ass. Don't be that guy or that girl. I think it's the guys mainly. So you have an opportunity. That's why you come in to watch it live, people, so you can meet the people, right? So as I mentioned before, thank you very much indeed. I'm going to thank you last. Tropical Nomad. We've got Brother Guzman. We've got Brother Hadis. Where's Sister Ayu?
Ayu, my man.
Ayu?
My girl.
Amazing, right? We're here. This is 398, or it has been. And next week will be Health Hub Bali. It's the first Monday of every month. And that will be about the transformative retreat space. Have a bunch of experts. The weeks following that, there's one guy, his name's Robert, not me, another guy called Robert. He's the former vice president of a multi-billion-dollar company, right? An incredible human who's not from here, but he's traveling around the world and managed to grab him. He might be watching us now. I didn't grab you, man. I never said that. I never said that. You're my brother. So that will be really interesting. When you see that, make sure you come, because he is a beautiful human being, actually. So I put that headline there because it gets attention. But if we didn't have the headline, I would just say, come and listen to a beautiful human, right? Who's just straight up, straight shooter, doesn't bullshit, tells you how it is, but is very pro-human beings, right? And it's amazing because he started at the bottom of this company and worked his way up over decades. Right? He's an astonishing guy. I can't wait to have him sat next to me. And you'll get a lot of value from him as I will do also. So tonight I just want to give it up to my brother Martin Ebongue. Please, a round of applause. Man, you're amazing.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Let's do it.